Sup, Angels? Today we're going to be talking about Devin Swanks' newest band, Bludgeoned by Deformity. You will notice that title is from Pyrexia. You would be correct. Look at this artwork, first of all. Very cool. Kind of reminds me of like old Swedish or like very mid to early brutal death metal of the 2000s. Very cool. I don't like saying Devin Swank from Sanguine Sugarbug. I feel like that's kind of disrespectful to all the things that he has attributed to death metal, and I know that's his big commercial success, but I was going through. I have the first Limb Splitter. Going back, he's always been about the brutal death metal. That's signed by Bob and Dan Baker. But that's how long I've known Devin in the scene. So he's no stranger to brutal death metal. But hearing this, it has a big old New York type of hardcore type of feel to it. And the vocals kind of reminded me of Pyrexia's System of the Animal reissue with Jim, their new vocalist, their most current vocalist, kind of tough guy shout, Traumacide type of ideals, but still has all the good brutal death metal qualities. This starts out very heavy, like a bulldozer, like loom, loom, loom riffs. Very good guitar riffs, especially on track number 4, False Deliverance. Has Chris from Pyrexia on that. You'll notice a lot of dual, almost deicide sounding guitar riffage, which I thought was very cool. You don't really see much guitar solos in death metal or hardcore, especially this style. They're not really things sound like this. It's kind of very unique, actually. But I did notice that. Very good guitar work from Chris. Very nice solo. The first thing that came to my mind for that solo was deicide, kind of like Hoffman Brother type of big squeal. Track number 5, very good trade-off with Don from Waking the Cadaver. Looking at the artwork, we have some beautiful type of repudiation type of artwork here. Very nice. Here's the artwork. Nice band picture. Some classic bands, Deeds of Flash, Eternal Suffering. But look at how beautifully done this is. It's one of the best looking CDs that I've ever held in my hand. Very, very professionally done. This is released on Iron Fortress Records. Kind of been in the wave of things Iron Fortress has. They kind of been picking up some steam. But lyrically, the lyrics are kind of different type of lyrical themes. You have kind of the weight of the world on your hands type of lyrics on the first few songs, and then the third song, Intestinal Suspension, kind of more like the Cannibal Corpse type of gory lyrics, and then it kind of goes back to people's mental state, but reading these lyrics, it's kind of akin to 90s brutal death metal. I know that's kind of a thing right now for bands to go in and talk about, things lyrically that have been done before. A lot of band names come from 90s death metal songs. In particular, the first sentence I read on this, Lord Visions, I was like, that sounds like Mortal Decay, the entire first line of this, just, it all goes back. Even the title, Epoch of Immortality, it kind of sounds like Epoch of Barbarity for all you Internal Bleeding fans, Frank Rini fans. But this release in particular, like I mentioned before, not really much things sound like it. Again, the only things I really came to mind were Traumacide and Jim's vocal work on the new Pyrexia. But if I was to describe the actual energy of this, I would say it's like a freaking gorilla pushing a bulldozer into a freaking boulder and punching it like Chris from Resident Evil 5 into a freaking volcano. Like, this thing is heavy. Like, this thing gives the that douche canoe, as J-Dog would say, from Slaughter to Prevail. This thing would freaking tumble wear his ass over. Alright, this thing is heavy. If you want a good pump at the gym, I recommend putting this on. Okay, it's very, it's brain dead in a good way. You know, you just turn off your brain and you just let the tough guy, hardcore mix with the brutal death metal, and it's just this. You know, everything from the bass is really supreme, drums are crushing, guitar works. Again, Devin, veteran to the scene, you know, he's out playing shows every day, making a new band every day. All right, he's got, you know, he's a current leader. You know, he's a head up there guy, and he deserves it. You know, I'm quite jealous myself of his success. You know, I'm quite jealous. But he's a really humble guy. Always give me the time of day. You know, but you know, if I would pick this up. You asked me how I even got this already before it's even released? That's because I'm Jimmy fucking Forster, alright? I got connections, alright? Capiche? I'm the Don of death metal. But if it comes to rating this, if I had to rate this from 1 to 10, honestly, I'd give it a good 9 out of 10. My only complaint, it's just a little short. And I'm not talking, you know, the songs, you know, there's only 5 tracks, but each track, if you're looking, it's like 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, 3 minutes, which is cool, you know, it's short, it's simple, just wish, you know, a little bit more, you know, capiche, but musically, good, solid 9 out of 10. For those who are into something new, for all you hardcore kids trying to get into a little bit more brutal death metal, for all you brutal death metal kids trying to get a little bit into hardcore, this I think would be a good starting point. Just kind of, you know, mixes the hardcore type of shout tough guy with the brutal death metal complexities. You know, or if you're in hardcore, you know, you get that familiar vocal energy, and you get some beefier slams and beefier riffs. You know, that's a good way to describe it. It's a good starting point for the in-between, the fusion. You know? But I think it's a beautiful CD, beautiful album, another good classic to add to Devin's discography, including the rest of the band. Cool features. I dig it. I recommend. I would not steer you wrong. This is some quick notes from Devin. I'm not going to talk about it, but these are his own words, so I'm going to show you some screenshots about what he had to say to this band, about this band. Kind of like the starting point, some cool trivia facts about this band. So if you want to care for that, look at it coming up after the video ends. But please consider subscribing and liking so I can do more cool videos like this and show off some more sick fucking bands.